Alright, here we are, everyone. Let's do this thing. Welcome back to Fantasy Farm, here on Stardew Valley. Spirits for neutral today. Queen of Sauce, do you have anything new? The complete breakfast. We learned how to cook that, which means it is a new one. Let's read it out. Last week I talked to you how to make hash browns. This week I'll show you how to combine them with other ingredients to create a hearty, complete breakfast. This meal will really fill you up and give you the energy you need to get in a hard day's work. And a hard day's work we will be having, very much so in fact, as this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to set this... Oh, it won't let me put it there. Where can I put it? Ooh, this is... Let's do something like this. There we go. So now we can see what all's going on without having to actually go into the town. So the bookseller is here today. I'll be needing that cup of coffee, because today is the final day to get the prismatic jelly, which means that things might be a little tight on the timer. Luckily, we've got infinite energy to work with, and for that, I'm actually quite grateful. And the strawberries are also ready. I'm going to put this away. So, aside from the strawberries being ready, which I do want to collect those so that they can, you know, continue to grow, aside from these, I'm basically going to be going directly to the mines. I'm not even going to be doing routine. Yeah, that's how much we want to try to get a very good jump on this and have as much time as possible to get this done, because although it's the final day, we don't even get a full day to do this because, remember, Wizard is going to close his doors before 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. rather, so we've got to be basically going at full throttle. So, I'm going to grab the strawberries, and then we're taking off. We're heading straight there to the mines. So I did say I wanted to look at the bookseller, so I might actually make a very quick run over there. So, since I want to get this done, I am going to keep it 100 with y'all on how many attempts it will take of me potentially resetting the day. And thus far, this is attempt number 1. Legit, this is attempt 1. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I just was trying to pet the cow. There we go. This is legitimately attempt 1. I have not made any other attempts. We're going to see how it goes. I am going to keep the regular strawberries to continue those with preserves jars. Everything else here I'm going to go ahead and sell, and we're going to see exactly how insane our profits can get here. I'm also going to do this as well. I'm just going to keep the regular carrots. I don't think there's a difference for your horse, so we're going to assume that that is not the case. I'm going to put this here. I'm just looking very quickly if there is anything else that I need to grab. I'm going to grab these, because there is a good chance we're going to need these. And everything else I'm just going to tuck right here. I am also not going to take the mystery boxes with me, just in case we need a free slot. I doubt it, but you never know. We're going to check the mail real quick. Notice, Pierre here, I really, really want to play this sashimi. I'll bring top coin to whoever brings me some. Pierre. Well, luckily, there is no timer on that quest, so we're not in a super big rush there. I do still have the coffee bonus going. Alright. No. I was going to say I should go back and grab a carrot, but it's fine. We are not going to be able to do that, Demetrius, I can almost guarantee you, because we may not even get the right weather condition for that to occur. And if that don't happen, there is literally nothing I can do about it. The good news is, if there's anything at the bookseller that I just don't care for, then I'll know for a previous, or for a later run. So you can trade in books. So if you find stuff of like, oh, I've already gotten the Jewels of the Sea, or Woody's Secret, or Jack Be Nimble, or Monster Compendium, you can trade it in for these items. And some of these are pretty good, like the Book of Stars, for example, can give you fairy dust, which you can sprinkle on kegs, furnaces, and other refining equipment to instantly receive their product. So there's some good stuff in here. The Monster Musk for Combat Quarterly, I'd say that's a pretty good trade right there. We don't have any books on hand, though, because I've been using them for experience, so we are just looking straight up at buying them. So we've got a couple of options here. You can see the value of your items with price catalog. You run a lot faster through grass and crops for old slither legs. Horse the book will give you extra speed in riding the horse. Way of the Wind part 1, you'll run a little bit faster. And then of course our common ones. The one I primarily want here is obviously Way of the Wind. This is a no-brainer. I'm also going to take the price catalog because that's not very expensive, but these are the two that I want first and foremost. It is a very, very, very small difference for Way of the Wind, and as you can expect, since you saw that that was Volume 1, yes, there is a Volume 2 that will increase your speed as well. It's minute, but every little bit helps, as we've clearly seen. So knowing that, I feel like I've made a pretty good choice there. I still have plenty of money. We're about to get a boatload of money from all the strawberries, so if you're worried about me dropping down a number, you won't have to worry for very long. Alright. Let's do this. Watch me have prepped all for this for like the first or second time that I come down here. There's going to be the Prismatic Slime. So as of right now, I am fully caught up on videos in terms of what I'm posting here. All of the ones that I had done, but I had not edited. I got all those edited. I have gotten all those scheduled, which doesn't mean anything for you guys if you're seeing this, because those videos have already been out. But it means that I am good for quite a ways. We are basically still in mid-July, is the 17th currently, and I've got videos scheduled twice a week till basically the last week of, not August, September. So needless to say, I am feeling pretty good in terms of very far ahead, but I've still got the itch to play. And since work is kind of slowed down in terms of being at work, there's not really much I can do right now because of all the remodeling and stuff. I still have plenty of time to work and wait for everybody to theoretically finish what they're supposed to do and then get things organized how they want, and then I can kind of go back and do my own thing. But until that point hits, ooh, 4 diamonds, that's not bad. Glad I took the time to do that. But until that point hits, you know, there's only so much I can do. Let's try to boost our luck a little bit here as well. See, I'm hoping for a bit of luck here. Bit of good luck. I probably should have been more specific. But yeah, I'm really hoping that we can get this done in time to be able to run it back to the wizard. Part of me almost wonders if I should actually just be going through the floors casually like I normally would, and if that would increase my chances of finding it. As if it's like actually on a specific floor and I have to get to like 47 or, you know, whatever number. Which I don't think that's the case, but it would be funny if it was. But I mean, if we're going for raw speed, this does feel faster than trying to coax out a staircase on top of roaming around each individual floor in the hole in order to hope to find it. I'm going to give 85 a try, though. Just call it a hunch. Oh, right, you guys actually take more than one hit down here. Yeah, I'm going to call it a hunch. I'm going to go to 85. The only real difference here is the color of the slime. Since we've got the iridium pickaxe, it can obviously break anything. Maybe we'll go to 45. We could just try each individual floor that's shaped like this. This is such a bright color contrast to the other two. I was in 2 very dark rooms, and now this one's an extremely bright one. Looks a bit weird, honestly. Not weird bad, just weird different. But if you're thinking, like, oh, well, shouldn't you be focusing on other stuff? Well, yes, I should probably focus on other stuff besides Stardew in terms of what I'm doing. But right now, what I'm doing is also stalling with a bit of time to wait for everything to open up so that I can go and get some errands done. As now that I have a paycheck, I can go and do things like get the oil changed in my car and go get a haircut and go and get groceries. All the fun stuff that, you know, you get to enjoy doing as an adult. He lied. Nope, not any there. I'm going to assume the wizard's tower probably closes at either 5 or 6. That's going to be my guess. Once it hits 6, I will probably double check that, just to be absolutely certain. Sure, why not? We're already here. I hear a bat. See, the weird thing is about this is, like, no matter how many times you go in here and it's just like, oh, this is hopeless, no matter what I do, I don't see it. All it is just one check. That's the only difference between finding it and not finding it. Like that! Like that! Exactly like that. Alright, we need to hope like yesterday that the Wizard's Tower is still going to be open. If he closes at 5, we are sunk, and there is no way to get to him in time. If he closes at any hour later than 5, I am confident we can make it there. Especially since we've got the speed boost here. And since we're over here, how's it going? I can check and see what you've got if there's anything interesting, but nope, none of this looks too terribly interesting to me, so I'm afraid I will have to pass. Come on, wizard, please tell me you're not closed. Please tell me you're not closed. Yes! So, here it is. Prismatic jelly, harvested from the rare and elusive prismatic slime. This, my friend, is for you. Ah, I see you've returned from the hunt. I sense you were successful. Now hand over that jelly and be gone. I have important work to do. 5,000 G, but that's not the only reward from that. I am honestly stunned we managed to pull that off in time. I can't believe it only took one try as well. Alright, well, things have reset. I don't know if I can get back to the wizard in time with a gift, but I'll try. Krobus, Alex, Dwarf, and Kent are the ones I'm missing. So I'll go ahead and put this stuff up, I suppose. I already know what Krobus wants since I've got one here. But now you can see, again, how much the gems are worth. So these are 3,000 for 4 of them, or 750 each, if you prefer. So it's a nice little thing. If you don't see a value on them, like the mixed seeds here, that means that they are not worth anything. So this will hopefully help prevent you accidentally selling something that is literally not going to be worth anything. I'm going to drop these off, I think. Those are worth something. Sure, why not? Alright, so the wizard, the dwarf, Kent, and Krobus. Oops, that's not the right one. I probably can't get back to the wizard, but I'm going to try. Just for the sake of saying I tried. After we do this, honestly, I was not expecting that to go as smoothly as it did. We've checked the traveling merchant. We know there's nothing there. I could still do the farm routine decently quickly, but about the only thing I need to check is just if the ancient fruits have spawned in. Which, if they have, good. If not, no big deal. And other than that, I don't know. We'll just, we'll poke around. Ah, good. You are still available. Here. Of all the people left, the only one that I've got to worry about actually making it to on time is Kent. Because he's the only one that's going to have his doors locked pretty soon here, which I'm going to guess is either going to be 7 or 8. We're going to find that out together, so there's no need, future me, for you to throw a little thing up here. I'm just going to find out by walking there myself. Oh, it's going to be close, though. Hey, Kent. Good routine to keep busy? Yeah, it's a good thing, alright? There you go. It's a really great gift. Thanks. You're welcome. Just watched Vincent tuck in for bed. Now we get to the easier bits of the gift giving, which is always nice. Here you are. Yeah, nothing too terribly interested about here. I am a bit curious, though, to see if, and I doubt it has yet. No, there's not any new quest yet, but I will take that prize ticket and go ahead and turn that in. I've already forgotten what's in here next. Now some mystery boxes, but there's some magic rock candy, and these are all good, actually. You know when a treasure chest that's worth quite a bit of money is the least valuable thing in your lineup, that you got a pretty good set of 3 right there. There will be another green rain coming up sometime in the summer. So if you are looking for more moss, there's no need to worry. You will still have opportunity to pick it up. It's not a one-time thing and it's gone forever. But I do like to grab little bits and bobs here and there when I can. Yeah, truthfully, I'm kind of torn on what to do next. I'm admittedly not sure. We're not particularly close to the next level, but I could grab one of these anyway, and I think I will. It's only 4,000. We're about to make plenty, so grab another little bit there. I think one thing we could do is we could start to do what I said I would recommend a fair few people do, which is clearing this out and essentially making it a farm for trees. It doesn't have to be trees, too. If you would rather fill this up with kegs, go for it. Like, you can't... This is basically an additional farm, but the only thing that you really can't plant on this is crops. But other than that, you can kind of go with whatever you want. So if I get the time, I'll plant some tree seeds. But that said, I actually don't think we're going to have enough time left in the day because I want to clear this out of both the trees that are ready to be harvested and also the rocks. So let's clear all this junk out. I'm going to figure out what we need to do for tomorrow, which is going to be the interesting part, because we're kind of in a weird spot now. Because a lot of it is waiting for the special orders, but if there's not one in there, it might be a case of we kind of look at what do we need in the near future for any potential things we're doing. I don't have the axe with me. Probably get a couple of those trees knocked down if we're decently quick here. Alright, let's put all this junk up. Same with all of this. And as for what type of tree, I mean, honestly, we're probably best off with the, where are they? Oh, with the oak trees, as the resin is probably the most important. So I think I'll grab these. Actually, no, I'm not going to grab them tonight. I'm just going to focus on tearing down the trees that are there. So we're not going to have enough time to get them all. We might have the iridium axe, sure, but it's, you know, almost 1 here. And, I do want to make sure that I don't pass out. We'll not have time to plan everything, but that's okay. We have time to get the trees down that need to be got, and that is the important thing. Alright, there we go. A little bit of extra wood, 195 pieces, because again, we will be needing that. As I said way back when, however much wood you think you have, if you're like, oh, I'm not going to need any more, hate to burst your bubble, but you probably are. But we got a full stack and another 152 on top of that, which is good. I do not have time to refill the cranberries, but let's see those numbers. Yeah. And remember, I didn't even sell all the strawberries, yes. Just from the gold and silver alone, not even counting the normal ones, which was another 90 strawberries. 24,750 and 18,975. 50K, basically. Which also means... Oh, not quite, actually. We're pretty close, though. I was expecting to see the millionaire achievement, but not quite. Ooh, that was good timing for the blessing of friendship to occur. I'm coming back to the cranberries, so I will check the spirits then. Alright, what you got? What are we looking at? Spirits feel neutral. The day's in your hands. Alright. Also starting to get some tea leaves since we're getting to the end of the week, which is good. I'll add those. The specimen you delivered offered great insight into the machinations of the fell beings we call monsters. I've formulated a pungent tincture that these beings find intoxicating. Use it with caution, Amresmodius Wizard. New crafting recipe, Monster Musk. This is what you think it is. This is a very, very helpful item. Spray this on to draw more monsters out of hiding. It's pretty easy to make, Batwing and Slime. That's all it takes. But it is extremely helpful simply due to the fact that whenever you're trying to grind for the Monster Slayer quests and you're having a hard time getting them to just, you know, show up, this is your go-to. This is what you use. So it is very, very useful for that. Alright. Now, as we do normally, I'm going to go ahead and do our routine, and once that is taken care of, I will be back here, and we'll see what additional things I'm going to be selling. Alright, I guess we're cutting back in here. Multiples of the ancient seeds are now growing, so we are now making progress on those. I'm going to toss the gold one into the chests. We've got 3 of those now, and then for the silver ones that we just picked up, those are obviously getting tossed in the seed maker. So we can start putting even more of them down. This other one's getting pretty close to being done here, too, it looks like. Alright, with our fruit trees as well, we've got 20 of each of these across the board. So with our fruit trees, I'm going to start selling these now. I'm not going to be keeping them anymore. Ooh, 3. Very nice. Am I going to fill up the entire greenhouse specifically with only ancient fruit? Probably no. I think a good chunk of them, yes, but entirely of them, probably not. If I do, it won't be as immediately as possible. It will depend on other things that are occurring in the game. I know that's a pretty vague answer, but the long and short of it is the reason that I would want to not do that is if I need to grow something out of season for whatever reason. The greenhouse is the best option for that, unless I'm using, like, the potted plant, but if I need to grow it in excess, then obviously the best bet would be the greenhouse. So I would keep a small section of tiles open specifically for that reason. So for now, no, but later on, that might change. As for the reason why, we'll see later. So there's another 168 there. I'm going to chop this down as well, just to get a little bit of space and a little bit more hay for the animals. I think we're doing fine on that, but I'll check the farm computer. And we have got a lot of stuff sitting in our inventory here. Is there anything I wanted to keep? I do want to keep a few more truffles. I think once I hit 10, I'm probably okay to stop there. But I do want to keep them for a bit. Carrots, I do want to keep those as well, at least the normal ones. Nothing else. Oh, no, that's not true. The rhubarbs. I do want to keep those. These sell for a pretty good amount, too. 1,000 for 3 gold star ones. I'm going to keep, I think, 10. This is primarily for recipes, obviously, because you never know, right? So everything else we will put up. Easily push us to 1 million, I think. The reason I'm not selling that egg is, of course, that is for our social, so let's see. The wizard is now maxed because of the quest we did for him, so we're good on that. So we're down to Krobus, the dwarf, Alex, and Kent. So for Krobus, for the dwarf, we've already got Alex's here. Kent, that will be for you. Missed a couple here. We'll just grab them manually, that's fine. Yeah, about 200 gold for each of those for the gold quality, and you bought them for 100, so you're basically getting double what you initially paid for them. Yeah, I am admittedly not sure after we're done with the gifting here of exactly what I've got in mind to do. So we'll poke around. We've got the Blessing of Friendship, so that might add a little bit of points to potentially at least get Krobus to max friendship. There you go. Do you know I was an all-star quarterback in high school? It's true. See this little star on my jacket here? That proves it. Sure. Sure it does. We'll just stop here, and the horse cannot pass through that, sadly. Krobus, this is for you. Krobus means bridge crosser in our language. Interesting. I don't know why my brain said instantly. Speaking of instantly, nope, not quite. Hey, Sam, I'm looking for your dad, and I'm going to assume he's probably hanging around out here somewhere. Watch him be at, like, his doctor's appointment or something. I talked about it a little bit, but people do have doctor's appointments. You're welcome. People do have doctor's appointments in-game. It's always the same day every single year, and it's only once a year, so every now and again, if you're just like, I cannot find somebody, no matter where I've checked, I don't know where they are, that might be where they are. Might be at the doctor's office. Getting their yearly physical. Ah, we do have more quests available. Okay, I don't actually think we've done either of these. And now I feel kind of stupid for chopping down all the trees. These are both completely doable. This one's going to be the easier one. I'm going to take the challenge, I think, and go with Resource Rush. If anyone can collect 1,000 pieces of wood in a week, they will earn a reward, and you can keep the wood. I am going to actually give that a try. That's going to be pretty tough, only in the sense of, I don't know if we're going to have enough trees. As the dwarf does not have any specific time that I need to get to him by, the first and foremost priority is obviously getting to the desert and making sure that we can get all the trees there. The other thing that I want to do is obviously planting some trees there. I'm going to go with the maple seeds, but there's something else I want to, also make, which is somewhere in my crafting recipes. We've not used it before, I don't think. This tree fertilizer with 5 fiber and 5 stones. Sprinkle on a wild tree to ensure rapid growth, even in winter. Does not work on fruit trees. Pretty easy to make. Shouldn't have any difficulty doing so. So yeah, I'm just gonna like pick up a fair few of these and make it to where I should be able to, theoretically, get those trees grown quite a bit faster. Sure, we'll toss one of these in here, why not? As for the other bits here, these can all go. I'll put that in the corner for now. It's going to be a little hard to chop down trees with no axe. Let's switch to something else. We've got 40 iron bars. Let's switch to gold for a bit. Alright, let's see how things go. I'm taking a risk with doing this one, I'm fully aware. Because theoretically, the smart thing to do would be like, oh yeah, plant a bunch of trees and then don't cut them down and then wait for it to rotate back around. But much like with the other one, it's anybody's guess as to when it will rotate back around. There's no way of knowing. I don't know if the game recognizes which ones you have and have not done, and if it makes it more likely that ones that you have not done will appear. It's possible, sure. But I don't know for sure if that's true. Luckily, I had not chopped all these down, so making this in advance has definitely paid off, and it was one of the reasons I recommended, hey, consider using your quarry or using your desert area for more trees. I'd say this would be the fastest one that we've done if we do manage to get it done in a single day, but that's actually not true because of the rock rejuvenation. That one's a lot easier. You probably already have all the pieces necessary by that point. Even when the bulletin board or the special orders first pops up, you probably have enough. Alright, 417, that's a pretty good start. We got a little bit more to go here. I think depending on how many spots or how many trees are left in the valley, it will be decently close. That's my estimation. We'll have probably about 600 by the time we get out of the desert, because there's still more trees over here. Thought I saw an artifact spot there, but nope. I know there's a fair few in the Cindersap Forest that have regrown. But whether we have enough or not, I do want to go ahead and plant more trees out here, so I am going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go with, like... I can't plant one there, I guess. Keep it uniform, I suppose. And I guess it gives a little bit of a walkway as well. Yeah, you just can't plant on those. That's a shame. Lost track of where I was there. Alright, the fertilizer. You just stick it on top. It slightly changes the color of the little buds or whatever. And I do believe you can plant these on a tree regardless of how far along it is in its growth. And what this does is it, obviously, as it says, it greatly basically increases the chances to have the growth stage increase by 1 overnight. Because that's how the tree growth works, is it's not like, oh, in 5 days' time it will grow to its next level. What it does instead is, at the end of a day, you know, like an in-game day, every tree, regardless of its stage, unless it's at full, we'll run a check, and it will decide either yes or no to this tree is going to grow an additional stage. And if it grows an additional stage, then it does, and if it does, it doesn't. So it's basically just choosing a simple yes or no, 1 or 0 toggle. So it can grow in, like, a very short amount of time, in theory, but it can also take an extremely long amount of time to grow as well. So that might be why, if you've ever wondered, like, why is the tree growth inconsistent? How come you chop down this tree and then chop down one right next to it a week later, and the one that you chopped down a week later grew way faster than the original? Yeah, it was just pure RNG decided for that particular one that it was not having it. Believe it or not, I'm actually going to chop down this tree as well. And I'm actually going to chop down all the additional trees that are here, even though it's just a small amount of wood. I plan on using this area for the fish pond, and I was already kind of talking about that before. This is just basically an excuse to go ahead and remove that. So I am going to be making that into an area where I'll have a fish pond, primarily for the sturgeon to be able to pick up the caviar. Once I get the caviar, I might swap the sturgeon out for something else. I know the fish ponds can actually be pretty lucrative. They can make you a fair bit of money. That said, I don't know too terribly much about what the ideal fish for that is, so that will be something I will research in my own time and kind of get an idea of, okay, what can I throw in here and just make a ridiculous amount of money off of. I think I'm actually going to leave the horse here so I'm not just constantly jumping on and off of it. Yeah, I think if we just even have like an okay amount of trees left in the forest, that we are probably going to be okay here. Now, I don't know if you have to drop these off to Robin. It says you can keep the wood, so I'm going to assume not. I don't know if I need to talk to her or anything like that, because it's going to be a little late in the day to do that, so that probably won't be an option. But if I just need to get it and then all of a sudden the next day the reward pops up in my mailbox, then cool. That'll make it nice and easy for me. It's weird to think, because I just put on the last video, too, of like, oh yeah, if we manage to get the prismatic jelly, like, that's going to be the over halfway mark. 93. Yeah, it'd be over the halfway mark, because that would have been number 10 out of 18. So 9 would have obviously been half. But now we're actually going to be at 11 instead. There we go. 2500G. As for any additional rewards, I guess we'll find those out at a later date. And since we're already going ahead and chopping down all the trees for wood, I'm going to go ahead and do this, I think. As for thinking like, oh, you cut down the only tree that you had for pine tar. I did, yeah, but A, the pine tar is what I've been using the least, as the maple syrup does have its uses in recipes and like the secret forest thing, and obviously you already know the oak resin's being used for kegs. But I am going to regrow a pine tree elsewhere, so there's no need to worry about that. So for now we're just going to keep on chopping these down. It's also pretty good for experience, if nothing else. How are we doing on that? Yeah, we're doing pretty well, I'd say. There's a chance, it's not a very high chance, but there is a chance that potentially we might end up with another mastery level even before the season's done. And doing things like chopping down the trees does help with that, as this is one of the better ways to get experience through foraging, at least. If I've got the time, I might even go up and grab the hardwood stumps as well. I think we'll stick with just this for now. No referring to the going to other parts of the map. We'll stick with what we got here. I don't actually need any of these pieces. This is strictly for experience right now. Nothing else. Okay, that's weird. I was able to go through there earlier, and now I can't do that anymore. Wonder if there's a forageable there that I just couldn't see. It's possible. I am curious very quickly once I get all of this put up. I forgot to give that to the dwarf, but that's alright. We can do that another day. Anything else in here? Doesn't look like it. I am genuinely curious to see... I completely lost my train of thought. Wow, good job, me. I'm proud of you. Hopefully it will come back to me, because it had it on the tip of my tongue, and now it is just gone. It's lost to the ether. So hopefully it'll come back. Sure, go ahead and toss these all in, I suppose. There we go. Doing very good on wood now. I got 2 full stacks and another half on top of that. I'm feeling quite happy with that. There we go. That would be the sound that I was expecting to hear the previous day. But there you go. Bit more work from the strawberries. The rhubarbs, no slouch either. No slouch either. These are pretty good. Like I said, the items that Sandy sells are very good. The starfruit in particular in the summer is a very good option. Starfruit and blueberry are typically going to be your best picks. And so I'll probably, admittedly, I think I'm going to grow a bit of both. It'll probably be blueberries on the right and starfruit on the left, as blueberries are a multi-grow crop and starfruit is a single-grow crop. But that achievement sound is the sound of us being a millionaire. As you can see, new achievement millionaire, 1 mil. I don't even have to look it up. You know what it means. Man, how are we doing on achievements as a whole? We're making okay progress on these. So it does not seem to go any higher than this, because it usually tells you, like, for, like, these, of like, oh, reach the friend, or, like, with the cooking, you get more recipes. Yeah. Upgrade your house once, upgrade it to max size, so it kind of gives you, like, 15, 30, every item, so it looks like there's nothing above millionaire. This is something different. We're very close to the museum collection. Cooking we're going to do at some point. I need all the recipes first. Upgrading house we'll do at some point. Crafting every item will probably be the last thing we do. Catching every fish, we're pretty close there. Help wanted quests, I do need to do more of those, but I'm more than willing to. Ship 15 of each crop, 300 of one crop, ship every item, read every book. Help your forest neighbors grow their family. This is referring to the raccoons. I need to buy the smoker at some point. Maybe I'll do that next. Obtain the most powerful weapon. There's still a bit to do here, but that is all. Another job for another day. Thank you all for watching. This has been pitmarthroy with Stardew Valley here on Fantasy Farm, and I will see you all in the next one when we use our 111,000 gold to buy lots of things, and I'm thinking the fish smoker will probably be on that list, as I can get a little bit of a start on that. But until then, take care.